Well, I did say late last week that I wasn't going to do these anymore. I wasn't going to make taxi vlogs just to have them taken down. But I figure if I avoid certain topics, shouldn't have any problem. And I think I know what the topics were. Some of you know as well. So, yeah, here I am Monday morning. I just did the Sunday night, and I did about $340. It was busy until about 2 o'clock, and then it kind of got quieter. And yeah, I'm just heading over to the car wash, just a little car wash, the cheap car wash, just to get a bit of the grime off the back end of the car, because the roads were wet and there was a little ugly out. Yeah, so your comments sort of stirred me to keep going, convinced me to keep going. I didn't know that the taxi vlogs were so people like them so much. You know, if you get 50, 60 views, you go, okay, 50, 60 views, but you know, if people are watching repeatedly, they're watching for a reason, because they like it. So yeah, for you people who have commented and convinced me to keep on going, here we are. I'll keep on going. It's gonna be interesting to try and stay off of topics that get you yanked, get you terminated. Okay, well, I'll be back for the rest of the week. It's a cold Tuesday morning. It's really cold. It's 1 degree centigrade right now outside. In here I've got it set on 25 and it's just comfortable. Finished my night. I've got about $340 on, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. It was busy for most of the night. I was busy. It was long drives to go pick up people who weren't necessarily going very far. I did have some good trips too, but considering the amount of driving I've done, I could have made more money, or I should have made more money, but that's the way it crumbles. Yep. So I'm done now. I'm tired. Like I said, I was busy. There was one point where I had an hour and a half break, and I really cherished that hour and a half break, because I was hoping for it for about 8 hours. 8 hours of non-stop driving. Now that's okay when you're on a highway and on a road trip and going a long distance. 8 hours of driving is like nothing, because it's stress-free. But when you're dealing with traffic lights and other cars and driving in town, stop and go, it's nerve-wracking, and you have to concentrate the whole time. So it wears you down. And so I'm pretty worn down right now. Since it's Tuesday morning, I'm just heading out to the 6 Mile Shell, where I'm going to wash the car and rinse the mats down, because that's the only car wash that's open at this hour that's any good. Then I'm going to drive back in, deposit some money to the bank, fuel up the car, and park it. And I'm going to walk to the chiropractor's, get my lower back stretched, and walk back home. After which I will get in my car and go downtown to pick up my new glasses. When I took a vacation a couple of weeks ago, I went to the ophthalmologist, and they checked my vision and tested my sight and got me fitted for new glasses. Once every 3 or 4 years is, I guess, a good idea. And it's let's see now, almost 7 years since I got my first set of prescription progressive glasses. And the pair that I'm wearing now is my second pair. I got a third pair that I will pick up in the morning. Found out that my vision is better than it was the last time around, but that's because I did have some laser. I had some leaking blood vessels in my left eye cauterized with a laser beam. And so that took down the swelling that was happening thanks to my diabetic condition. So my eyes tested better now than they did 3.5 years ago, which is interesting. So hopefully those new glasses will be just as good for seeing close up as these are, because these are pretty good. But, you know, I have to keep checking. And the eye specialist who was checking my eyes the whole time and getting the laser cauterization asks the ophthalmologist or the optometrist to check up on me and ask me to have the optometrist check up on my eyes and go for an examination once a year. I don't think I'm going to buy a new pair of glasses every year, but every 3 or 4 years should do it. Oh, 3 more nights to go. I hope they're not like the one that just went by. This was too busy for my taste. Okay, it's now 4:33 a.m. on a early Welfare Wednesday. In December, Welfare Wednesday happens a week earlier than it otherwise would. I don't know because of Christmas or why. You tell me. I've had a busy night up until 10 o'clock, and then it just got quiet. But I had a call from my generous customer to take him for a $24 ride, and he gave me $40. Then I waited for an hour for something to happen, and I got a call. But before that, much before that, just after 10 o'clock actually, when it started to get slow, I got sent to a hotel, a motel kind of place. And there was nobody there looking like they needed a cab. And So I called the phone. I phoned the customer, and nobody answered. The system said, "Well, sorry. Oh, you're making me turn around, you piece of shit. Oh, I don't like that. Ah, futz. Well, now I'm getting busy again because it's the morning hours. Please call," it says. Pull a U-turn here. Shut up. Anyway, this girl comes up from behind, a woman in her late 30s, early 40s perhaps, and she oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to cut that out. So anyway, she gets in and she's acting kind of strange and saying that she's an actress from Vancouver, and then she wants to go to the ferries, and how much is that? And I say, well, the ferries are not running right now. She says, well, I want to go to the school in Sydney. And I say, well, she says, how much is that going to be about? And I say, well, about $60, $65. And she didn't. She says, well, I'd have to go to McDonald's, or are they open? Is the 7-Eleven open? And then at one point she said that she was she worked in a bank, and then at another point she said that she's a nurse, and it's like, and she's all confused and not making any sense. It's like she's schizophrenic or something. It's just awkward. But she has to go visit her sister, and she gives me $5 up front. She says she has to go see her sister at one of these homeless places, and she says, well, and can you shut the clock off and wait for me? I'll be right back, and then I'll be going. I'll need you for half an hour to go to Sydney. And it's like, you know what? If you can't let the meter be on while you go in for a moment and then come out, and if you can't give me $20 to hold on to wait for you, then I don't think I'm going to take you anywhere. And as soon as I cleared the system, I got sent to Walmart, and Walmart was close to my regular generous customer who called me, and I took him to his friend's place. Then I had a break for about an hour. Then I got him again to go back home. Another $40 for a $24 ride. And that was earlier. Have I got this right? I hope so. Or should I have gone on the other side? I'll go up this one, and if it's not here, then I'll go the other way. Hey, that's it. It is now Thursday morning. The time is 6:34. I slept, well, I always go back to bed after I wake up. I turn on my oven and I set the timer. I set the timer to preheat my oven, and I did that this time. I set the oven, I set the timer. I fell back asleep and slept through the timer, slept through the chime that the timer makes. So when I woke up, it was about 7 o'clock. Well, by that time the oven was definitely preheated. So I put my dinner in the oven, because it was right there next to the stove. It was just ready to go. And I put it in there, And then after it had been going for the correct amount of time, I went and put in I put the vegetables in the microwave, and then everything was ready to eat. So I ate at about 7:30, was it? Yeah, 7:45. And then around time went so fast. I was out the door just after 8:30. I got to work at 8:45, so almost 9 o'clock. And then I was busy for a while, but it wasn't the kind of busy that was annoying. It was the kind of busy that, you know, I did a call and then did another call and then did another call, but I wasn't having to go such great distances to get them. They were all reasonably nearby, and so I didn't have to rush that much, and there were no calls that were old calls. I just had fresh calls, and they were nearby for the most part, or a reasonable distance. And you didn't have that annoying traffic because, you know, it was 9 o'clock rather than just after 6. So now I finished the night. After 11, I think it was. Yeah, after 1. After 1, it got quiet. So between 1 and 6, it was slower. I got a chance to go to sleep. I got a chance to watch some videos. I wasn't stressed. It was good. And the owner is driving it this morning, and he doesn't usually come to work till well after 7. So I have enough time to make a bank deposit, and I have enough time to go to the car wash, wash the car, and then fuel it up and park it. There was a problem. I had the same problem last week. About halfway through the shift, the electric motor stopped working, and so the car was running on gasoline only. And right now it's still doing that, so it's going to cost me more in fuel than it usually does. By a bit, you know, $5 or $6. And there's that warning on the dashboard saying, check hybrid system, stop the vehicle in a safe place. And I'm not going to accelerate very hard here so that the phone won't fall down. I've been kind of limping along the whole most of the night, just because I do not have the electric motor. And here is another branch of the bank on my way between here and the car wash. It's a little bit more convenient than the other one. Yeah. There's where I'm gonna stop. Anyway, one more night to go. Well, my night is over. The time is now 5:57 a.m. It's the Friday morning, and I just had a $400 night. I was busy for most of it. Lots of calls, one right after another. This one was a stressful night. It was tiring too. And at around 4 o'clock, I had this couple of people. They're going to get drugs the way it looked, but they were quite inept. They didn't have any money, or she didn't have any money, and she wanted to use her credit card with Tap to get money out of a bank machine, but that kind of thing doesn't work. So she wanted to use a bank machine, so we went by this one store, but the store was closed because they close. Stores that used to stay open all night were closed in the morning hours. And so then they went to meet somebody, and she got out and met this guy, and then she got back in, and then she wanted to go to another store where they had a bank machine, but then she couldn't use the bank machine because the bank machine does not accept tap. So then she wanted to go home, so she went home, and when we got there, it was $24.40. She paid the $24.40, and then the guy said, well, I have to go back downtown. Okay. He says, I got to stop at a bank first. I said, well, which bank do you deal with? He says, well, TD, but any bank will be fine. So I'll take you right to the TD. So I took him right to the TD. Then he wanted to go to a particular street corner where people sell drugs. He went there and said, just park right here. So I parked, and then he went away. And I sat there for a while, about 10 minutes, maybe even a little longer. Then he came by, and he was walking on the sidewalk past the car saying, hey, hey. So I followed him, and he was going into a parking lot. He went into a parking lot, and I was just behind him, and he said, I'll be back in a sec. Okay. So I waited another 15 minutes. By this time, the meter was approaching $50. And I figured, yeah, you know, he didn't leave me anything. He didn't leave me any money. So I think I'm just gonna leave. Which is what I did. I left. So I got $24.40 for that. But to be honest, I needed a break too, because I had been just driving, concentrating, driving. And I was tired. So it was kind of nice to have a break with the meter going and not get paid for it. Anyways, it turned out to be a $400 night anyway, so am I gonna cry over that $25 that he didn't pay me? No. I'm not gonna cry over that. I count what I got. And I wasn't gonna wait for him any longer. You know, people do that. And he said he was gonna be going somewhere else after that. They do that, you know. People tell you that they're gonna go somewhere else to distract you, and then they fuck with you. Just like that girl the other night. The same kind of thing. He distracted me. He said, oh yeah, I'll be going to Dumaresque after that. Well, you walk away, you don't leave me any guarantee, call another cab. Well, I'm at the gas station. I'm gonna fuel up. No gasoline or unavailable. Now 4:31 on the morning of an early Welfare Wednesday In December, Welfare Wednesday is a week early. And at this point in time, I've got an hour and a half left to go, and I have $300 on. I was busy until 10 o'clock, and then it got quiet. It got very quiet for a while. Oh, shit. It has to be a